It is Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024. This is the Kearney Board of Aldermen meeting. I will call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Shirley, have you had a chance to take roll?
I have taken roll. Everybody's present and you have a quorum.
Great. We'll move on to public hearings. We have no public hearings scheduled for this evening, so we'll move on to personal appearances. Our personal appearance this evening is Kurt Hamilton, the Executive Director of the Kearney Enrichment Council, here to deliver the annual report. Kurt, you got the floor. You got your booklets already?
Nope, yep. Feel free to keep those since, just because I sent the presentation today, I wanted to make sure you still had some kind of material in front of you. Are you fine? Yeah. Thanks, David. Thanks for always being here. But yeah, Kurt Hamilton, if I haven't met some of you, Executive Director of the Kearney Enrichment Council, just here to kind of show off a little bit of what we did this year and kind of how we, thank the city for your support and kind of what we were able to do because of your support over the year. So it's a pretty exciting thing. So the first thing, so the mission, we kind of restructured part of our mission statement this year with adding the city of Holt as well. So part of our mission statement now includes that, where instead of just improving the quality of life in Kearney, we also have that piece in Holt as well. We think it's important. The school districts are merged, so we think it's valuable to make sure that we're also recognizing the people and the kids that also live in that area. But our three objectives, they've kind of adjusted now. The biggest one being the third one now, where we have this assistance available for low-income families, since we've added the addition of Kearney Family Foundation and Shop with a Cop in the last coming years. We really have taken that to the front burner, and we also have some assistance dollars that we raise personally, either through the United Way or through individual donations, and we use that to help people with rent, utilities. We've helped homeless situations with people passing through our town, all kinds of different unique situations. So that's a really important one, but we still have, the other two as well, where we're, promoting a positive lifestyle for youth, families, and adults here in our town, in addition to revitalizing our downtown efforts. For those of you that don't know as well, the KAC is also in 3 different locations. So originally we started with just the Kearney Firehouse Community Center. That's been our home base for a long time, since the KAC's ever been created. But we also have 2 other locations, the Kearney Senior Center being a little bit more recent, a year or 2 now we've been in there, and it's been a great space. Being able to see senior adults have their own home from 9 to 2 every day is very important, and we have added a lot of different programs and resources to make sure that they have the different programs that they need. But our newest addition is a building called the Spark Academy, and that's the old Reese Nichols office building in town, and that's what we've been renovating all year long. So that's kind of a picture in the middle of it when we kind of put new studs, but we actually demoed the whole top floor, and we're restructuring it to kind of meet the needs of our youth programs. 14 office spaces wasn't ideal with what we needed, so it's kind of been a nice change, but we still have great plans of keeping the basement open and kind of how we adjust and use that to kind of grow our ever-growing youth program as well. This is kind of a quick recap of what went on this year. So these are our 5 big keystone areas that we like to touch on. So with our youth programs, just a quick highlight of, we saw almost 2750 visits from children. This is through our camps. This is through our after-school program. Both had a really successful year here in 2023. This is the most kids we've ever had in our summer camp programs, which is exciting. The parents are really thankful usually when there's more opportunities, and we actually had 4 camps this year instead of 2. So immensely grateful for the opportunity. Shop with a Cop, we actually helped around 50 children this year. That's about 12 more than last year. Your Shop with a Cop program is very impressive. Liberty was there at the same time. They were only there for about an hour, so we were there for about 6 or 8. So we helped a lot of kids, and we make sure that our law enforcement are with them every time, and it builds a lot more than just a memory, but it builds that partnership opportunity with families that are kind of down on their luck, and they have that partnership to see law enforcement as an ally instead of a threat. Downtown revitalization, we're always trying new events, so we tried a whiskey tasting tour after the success of our wine and chocolate event. We had about 100 people come out and enjoy some of our local businesses. New businesses participated as well, so it was just a nice opportunity, and we saw great success with a lot of our events this year. Senior programming, a program that I like to talk about that people don't always know about, is we have a partnership with Harvesters where we actually bring about 2,300 pounds of food up here and we give it away. So it's a produce opportunity, so seniors have that resource if needed. And Harvesters provides all the food for free. So it's a great partnership and it's a great way to make sure that our senior adults have some of the resources that they need. And then with Kearney Family Foundation, you know, we always have a lot of households that we help. We've been hanging over 100 for the last several years, but this year we had more kids than ever with that 108 families. So impacting over 300 kids, and it's quite an accomplishment from that volunteer board and, you know, the fundraising that they do all year long. So one thing I wanted to note too was that our team, as you know, I came in 2019, so I usually resort back to a lot of my facts and information from that. But we've grown a lot. We have 24 employees now, which is very significant, 3 full-time, the rest are part-time, which is great and hugely important. We also have a board of 12 individuals now. When I started, we had about 7 or 8. So we've grown that board as well as we've grown as an organization to build that support as well, to help rally behind our employees. But yeah, when we look back to 2019, we only had 4 staff. So quite an achievement and only 1 full-time out of that. So we've definitely made sure that we've built the ecostructure behind the systems and the programs so they can continue to flourish as well. So we're going to walk through each one of our programs as well. So this is just some fun pictures of our kids and kind of different things that they do. So again, we're really proud of the addition of camps this year and all the different creativity and opportunities that the kids got to go through there. The program's grown so much over the years where we went out and raised that $125,000 at the end of 2022 to purchase the academy. This year as well, we received a $178,000 grant from the Sunderland Foundation, who helped us renovate that building. So we're spending that very easily as we continue to adapt and make sure that building's ready to go. But we're very grateful for that opportunity and that grant, and for them, you know, thinking Kearney is a worthy place to invest their money in and make sure that we have this amenity for our public. But moving to the next one was senior programming. We added some new programs this year with age mastering. This is one of our evidence-based learning classes. Chronic disease and Let's Walk are some of the ones that we're going to add in 2024. Evidence-based learning is an opportunity we got being partners with MARC now, which is great, and a new funding stream for our senior center, which is exciting. The Let's Eat Out Club, getting seniors out of their homes if they're homebound or if they can't drive out of town into other places around the Kansas City area, which is kind of fun for them to get little day trips. And yoga has been another big exercise class that they've really enjoyed. But the senior center as well had a great year. We offer over 22 programs. We got a nice little end of year grant of $26,000 from Northland Community Foundation. They award $50,000 to the Northland, so we received over half of their overall grant amount, which is great, for a possibility to purchase a handicap accessible vehicle. So that vehicle will be purchased to help make sure that if seniors cannot move and have mobility issues or in a wheelchair, that they're still able to come to the senior center and they still have that transportation option, which is really cool. And it offers more availability for our other 3 vehicles that we have now as well to go out and about to take seniors, kids, and youth as well. So our senior center is doing really great. Downtown revitalization, we already shared about the whiskey tasting tour, but some of our other events that I know we all love and enjoy is Kearney's Magical Night and our Lighted Christmas Parade. Just a recent event where we saw over 3,500 people in our downtown, which is exciting. Very, very energetic event, seeing all the kids and seeing all the businesses participate in the parade. But in our downtown revitalization, we like to also talk about our Kearney's Farmers Market. You know, we had a new director this year, Colleen, who did a lot of new things, which was really exciting, and brought over 60 vendors to our event, but also showcased some kids showing off entrepreneurship, which is the picture on the right. But in addition to some of our farmers like Dave, who's been a part of our market since it's created. So a lot of long-standing goodwill there with our farmers market, and definitely an important thing in our downtown as well. The Kearney Family Foundation, if you don't know about kind of the inserts of it, so the picture of the trash bags, this is actually, the community actually donates the gifts that people receive. We use the donations that people send in to purchase Price Chopper gift cards to actually go with the gifts. So small, medium, and large families, but you're gonna receive at least, you know, $200 to $500 worth of gift cards to Price Chopper, which is exciting. And then each kid gets adopted by another community member where they get new clothes, gifts, all kinds of different things. You know, some families definitely go above and beyond and buy them everything on their wish list, which is really special. So it's a really heartwarming event. They had a golf tournament for the first time this year and helped raise an extra $5,000 for their event, but they're a small advisory board of, 7-9 people, and they go out and they raise $60,000-$70,000 every year and help all these families in our town. So it's a very important tradition that our town's done for over 20 years, and we're honored that it kind of falls under the Enrichment Council now, as we're able to continue to support it. And then lastly, with Shop with a Cop, we just had our shopping day a few weeks ago. We had a lot of officers and families. As you can see the full picture of all the people that came out and helped, which was really heartwarming. But yeah, 50 kids. So the process is the school counselors sign up the kids and the families. The kids walk in with their time and they get to basically get assigned to an officer. They get a $250 limit, which gets over all the time, which is okay. And they get to go shopping for whatever they want in the store. So some kids get a new game system, some other kids get silverware, pillowcases, and sheets, more necessity items. So it's kind of up to them, whatever they want, whatever they need. But it's really impactful for sure. There's a kid on Jeff Shaw's head, and they became best friends instantly. So it's a really special day, and I think our officers go above and beyond to make sure that they do more than what's asked of them to make the day special for these families, to make that impact. So this is kind of a chart that shows kind of our growth throughout the years. So, 2020 was an interesting year, but we really started our emergency services then. That was an opportunity that wouldn't have been presented. So it was an opportunity for us to do more in our community, which is great. But you can see, over the 4 years, the only thing that's kind of slipped back is our community events. One reason we say this is because we have been starting all of these new events. Sometimes with our feedback and our surveys back from businesses or even the public, they said, well, I've been to that now, what else do you got? And it's just like, okay. And that's something that we're never going to be able to help. So we kind of see it probably being, we have years that we have lots of people, we have some years that are less. 2022 as well, we had the Legends Festival, so we had other festivals that were kind of one-time things as well. But we're still proud of the amount of people that we're bringing into our town for sure. And we know that it's making an impact in a variety of ways. But our emergency services is definitely the thing that we had a lot of here in 2023 with being able to help more people with our rent and utility assistance that we went out and fundraised on our own, which was great. So the one thing I wanted to show was the importance of the city of Kearney's money and kind of how it goes into our full budget. So your funding that we receive every year is about 10% of our overall budget. This year we had a lot of one-time grants. That's not always the case, but we fight hard to write as many grant proposals as we can. We also received some funding from, the county with our Clay County Senior Services Grant for our senior center, our rental income, which is a small chunk, but still mighty and important. Local businesses always contribute. And then now we're proud to say that our largest contribution is from the individuals and the public. This is something that we worked really hard for in 2023. This is something that we've never really seen before in our growth model and our budget. So we're really proud to say that the community is really stepping up and really starting to see the impact that we're making. And they're starting to really support that financially in addition to their time as well. To break down the funding that the city gives us, it's a $131,000 investment. And then the biggest being the executive director role, so my own, and then admin salaries. That's what the majority of the contracts were. The first contract's written to, start this program with Jenny Hayes in the incubation phase. So those are very appreciated and needed as we grow. And then the youth funding as well, the $30,000 that goes towards our Spark Studios program and our youth programming. And then we have some smaller chunks with some event support with Oktoberfest and also Magical Night, the maintenance and the utilities with the firehouse, which is greatly appreciated to keep the lights on, and then our audit as well, which is crucial to receive a lot of the grants, the Sunderland Foundation grant, Clay County Senior Services grant, the Emergency Rental Assistant grant that we got the last 2 years. So audit's definitely crucial and important, and it's a big part that makes us what we are today. This is kind of the operating budget of what we did with the dollars that we received from you and other people. So I thought it's important so you can kind of see our operating budget and where we're spending our dollars. So we have a lot of it going towards the Kearney Senior Center. We have 11 of our staff positions over there. So we have a lot of our money going over there, but it's a well-oiled machine and it's kind of doing its own thing, which is really great. And then our youth programming is definitely the next most with our downtown revitalization with our events. And then we still have important, dollars that we're spending in Kearney Family Foundation and our Shop with the Cop programs as well. This is a really good quote. Somebody sent this in to us and then they posted it on Facebook too, but they made sure to email it to us. So Connie Clark is a resident that just moved to town. She's lived all over the United States. And she wanted to make sure that, one of her first events was Kearney's Magical Night. And she said it was just nothing like she's ever seen before. And that when she sent us the email, she said that she just wanted to make sure that the people and the volunteers that worked hard on it, got acknowledged for that hard work, because it takes a lot to go into that. She said she had volunteered at her own community for a long time, and that, that stuff goes unnoticed, but she wanted to make sure it was appreciated. So those are the comments that, keep you going for quite a while, because it's very impactful, and we always appreciate when our citizens highlight the hard work that our organization does. So just a quick summary of what we talked about. 2023, we had over 1,000 volunteers that helped our organization, over 2,000 hours that they did, which is huge and very impactful. We reached over 39,000 people through our different programs. So, we're very grateful for our staff members, our board members, our volunteers, everybody that puts in hard work, because a lot of the times, just like your job here at the city, it goes unnoticed, but it's very vital to what we do as an overall public. And, we are very lucky to be in the position of what we're doing for our town, and we're very grateful for not only your support, but the support of our other many partners, so we can continue to do that. So I encourage you to continue to look through the annual report. There's information in there as well that wasn't presented on, because I didn't want us all to be here until midnight. But feel free to read through that, and if you have further questions about anything specifically, I'd love to answer.
The only question I have for you, Kurt, is do you know when the kind of estimated time of completion for the Spark building?
Yeah, March of 2024. That's kind of the deadline that we're giving ourselves. So cool. I think by then, we're going to finish out the school year with our current youth structure in the firehouse, but we kind of want to bring the kids over in the last couple months. We brought them over in the basement the other day to play dodgeball. Went over very well. The kids really enjoyed it, and they liked being and seeing in the building. So it's an exciting opportunity for sure, but yeah, we're continuing to work hard on it to make sure it's done in time. We're on the stage of painting right now, so it is nice to see walls up and not just wood studs.
Great. Any questions from the board?
I'm impressed with what you and your staff and volunteers, your board, all of them have accomplished.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Well, yeah, we have several staff member and board members here tonight, which is greatly supported. So I mean, they definitely want to show their support. And, I think the KAC gets a bad rap sometimes because people think it's just me, but there's a huge army of people behind me that are supporting the KAC. So it's definitely not me, it's a huge team.
So what have you got planned for 2024?
It's always a good question. Yeah, we always want to tweak our events and kind of look for new ways to make them exciting. We used to do a summer series called Movies in the Park that the public enjoyed, and then the world of streaming kind of heard it for sure. So we've looked into ways, what can we do more in the summertime to maybe add to the opportunities there, maybe play off the splash pad now that that amenity is done and get people more excited about their hometown. The big focus is getting kids into the Spark Academy and making sure that that project's completed. And so that way, the kids can go in there and enjoy that. And then our emergency services there's not a lot of small rural towns that have resources like that. So luckily, when we were a part of the ERA program back in 2020 and 2021, we were one of 5 nonprofits that were selected to hand out that 1.5 million grant from Department of Treasury. So we were selected automatically to be a part of United Way's next initiative. So we will be able to help residents in Clinton County, Ray County, Clay County, of course, and other counties around because of that. So we'll start this new emergency rent program, which is great. It also has opportunities to help families with childcare and transportation, which is very unheard of in the nonprofit world. So we have that on the horizon as well. So those are kind of the big things that we're looking forward to tackling in 2024.
Great. If there are no other questions from the board, thank you so much for you and your board and volunteers' continued efforts and work, and thanks for being here for your annual presentation.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Kurt. Thank you, guys. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Are there any items of discussion or questions on the consent agenda this evening? Seeing none, if we can entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I make a motion to approve it as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda passes. Next item, ordinances. We have no ordinances this evening. We'll move on to resolutions. A motion approving Resolution 1/2024 presented by Carolyn Yatsik, our Economic Development Director, a resolution adopting an economic development policy for the city of Kearney, Missouri. Carolyn, you have the floor.
Thank you. Yes, Mayor and Board of Aldermen, good evening. Before you tonight is a comprehensive economic development policy, which establishes standards and guidelines that will govern the granting of incentives to facilitate economic growth. Each project and request for public assistance will be evaluated on its individual merit and overall contribution to the city, and the granting of incentives is solely and completely in the hands of the Board of Aldermen. Internally, the policy is a guide that assists us in decisions that we make for future economic development projects. It's also important externally. The policy provides guidance to property owners, developers, site selection consultants, prospects in Kearney on the use of public economic development tools. And it also includes the city's expectations on the processes and measures of compliance. The policy follows all state statutes and has been reviewed by our economic development attorneys, Gilmore and Bell. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board on the proposed resolution adopting an economic development policy for the city of Kearney? Okay, thank you for the report. Seeing no questions, if we can entertain a motion to approve resolution 01/2024 adopting an economic development policy for the city of Kearney.
So moved. A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution unanimously passes. Thank you for that report. We have no items for review and presentation. I have no mayor's remarks this evening. Besides, I hope everybody had a very happy new year, and I look forward to working with all of you in 2024. And we got a lot of work to do. We'll move on to the city administrator report.
The only two items I have are announcements that our next regular board meeting will be on Tuesday, January 16th, because of the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. And I wanted to let the board know that the city of Kearney paid the semi-annual interest payment on behalf of the Kearney Area Development Council per ordinance 1447-2020.
Would it be possible that maybe at a future meeting to get an update from the Kearney Area Development Council on the status of the marketability and kind of what they have going on with their remaining lots and innovation?
Yes.
Great, I would appreciate that. We'll move on to Alderman discussion. Alderman Barter.
Just add Happy New Year to everyone and best wishes for a great 2024.
Alderman Lehman.
No, I don't have anything tonight.
Alderman Holt.
No, I don't really have anything either.
Alderman Switzer.
I'll echo Kathy's. Happy New Year.
We do have an executive session noticed up this evening, a closed session per RSMO 610021 subsection 1, legal actions, causes of action or litigation involving a public governmental body and any confidential or privileged communications between a public governmental body or its representatives and its attorneys, and 610021 subsection 12 to discuss matters pertaining to negotiated contracts, and 610021 subsection 13 individually identifiable personnel records, performance ratings, or records pertaining to employees or applicants for employment. And a reminder, our meeting will be adjourned from there. So this does conclude our public portion of our open meeting. If we can consider to go into executive session at 6:53 p.m.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Pull the board, please.
Alderman Barger.
Aye.
Alderman Lehman.
Aye.
Alderman Holt. Alderman Switzer.
Aye.
Votes unanimous. We are going to ask Chief O'Leary to stay with us for a portion of the meeting.